45, take 1.
Slate 9, take 1.
Select 36, take 1.
Turn over.
Speed.
Mark. And speed.
I was approached during season 1 to play a vicar in one of the episodes, which unfortunately I couldn't do, but it turned out to be one of the best things for me, really, because sort of season 2 came along. But I didn't know that at the time, and then I was asked to do something at the end of season 1, having not really known much about it at all. And it was pretty glorious, actually. I went in, I was told that I was going to be this strange sort of Victorian character that's coming back, but it's years later. So I went to an industrial estate and shutters up, van parked in there, lovely studio at the back. But we didn't use that. We used the car park in the front and a little bit of green screen. And all I had to do was, well, you can see it in the end of season 1. All I had to do was stand up, turn around, look sort of a certain way and say, I'm home. And I did it, and I thought, well, that wasn't very good. And I was told by both the director and the cameraman, yeah, that wasn't very good. So kept doing it, and it was all a bit strange. And I remember saying, oh, look, I'm really sorry, I've got to have a beard because of some other filming that I'm doing. And then that had a knock-on effect for the rest of season 2. So then other jobs that I was trying to do during season 2, I'm saying, I've got to have a beard because I need it for this. So it was all a knock-on effect. But it was great. It was lovely to be involved, but I didn't really know much about it. I saw some sort of glimpses of bits of script and a tiny little bit of some stills from season 1. Yeah, and then season 2 came along.
Quite brilliant. We were talking about it, and that's when we came up with this idea of, well, you know, he hasn't been on Earth for 200 years. Much to him, it feels like 2 weeks, but so much has changed, and so he's going to be fascinated by little things like a light switch. So we thought, well, actually, how about not only burying some of our exposition with a bit of comedy, but, you know, it's a nice bit of character that actually, whilst he's talking and telling us all this stuff, he's kind of playing with lights and toast and...
Well, it gives him something physical to do in the scene rather than... Because that's what you...
rather than here's what you need to do.
Yeah, and I think you don't want, as a filmmaker or as a director or as a writer, you don't want your characters just stood around literally talking without doing anything else. So giving them something to do visually and physically just makes the scene a little bit more interesting and gives you something to play with, because then he's distracted and other people are annoyed that he's distracted with this and they're not he's not getting down to it, which I think happens in the episode.
It took us a while to work out what is our overall story of series 2, what is the payoff of 1, why is the ship here. Again, we kind of just did the opposite of, you know, okay, so people assume they're here to attack or it's an invasion. Okay, it should be that they're here to protect us. That's obviously the opposite of that. Okay, so what's the threat that they're dealing with? And then, you know, once we kind of come up with that overall story, it was about setting up enough so that an audience could follow the story in the episodes to come without being lumbered with too much information and also leaving some surprises. So we didn't want him to explain everything, but it's like it needs to be enough to get everyone on board and be excited so they can follow what's coming up. And basically getting the ball rolling on our second series story. Yeah. So it was just working out what those information points were that needed to come across, and then also doing it in a way that it happened naturally across the episode. So it wasn't, again, literally, right guys, this is what you need to know, long dialogue exchange.
Absolutely.
We knew that once we'd done this, we can really kick off our second series, and we can kick off our story. Our guys have a mission. You know, we liked the fact that last time, no matter what else happened, it was always about that definitive goal of we've got to get to the farmhouse by this time. So we wanted to give them an equivalent in series 2. So it was nice to know, yes, there's still mystery and surprises to come, but here's our mission and we're off.
My first episode was episode 3, and it was filming with all of the cast, all shoved into one room from season 1. It seemed like every single person had worked together before for a very long time and all got on, and you come in as this strange Victorian character all clad in frock coat and had a top hat, and everyone else is sort of in jeans and t-shirts and all a little bit modern, and what's happening? And I'm going, my top hat, what's happening? We filmed in this beautiful farmhouse, quite remote, middle of summer, and I'm wearing a lot of wool. And luckily, the Arga was on full the entire time. So I managed to sweat my way through. And then the really big challenge actually was, it wasn't so much settling in with the cast because they were lovely. Everybody was, cast and crew. The real challenge was the fact that I had a lot of exposition. An awful lot of exposition.
I think on the day it was quite interesting
hard.
practically to shoot it because you have, five, six characters stood around talking, lots of dialogue, and the coverage on that to try and capture it all and make sure that we got the shots that we needed for the edit, and try and keep it visually interesting. So, Edward Culver's
hopefully you won't be bored watching it.
Yeah. And Dan Winter's character, Edward, he's walking off to try and get something from the microwave. He's coming back. He's walking over to you. And then Paul Tonkin, Stephen would come over and then storm off. So we're trying to keep things physical, keep things moving. But then the eye lines were obviously an issue as well because we had to make sure that on this wide, Dan's looking that way. And then when he speaks to you, he's looking this way and so forth. And then when we have Kate, Marie Davies and Alicia listening to that, which side of camera are they looking at?
I was given an awful lot of props to use as well. So there's a section whereby I'm trying toasters and kettles, and in the script there was written a whole host of things, and it was like trying to remember what you're saying and moving all these props, turn that on, let that pop up, call that amazing, and then say something really dynamic to another character.
Right, start talking.
From a writing point of view, it was quite a nice chance this episode to kind of answer some questions that I thought people might be asking from Series 1. So obviously, these aliens are good now, we've established, the ones that arrived first. But there were things like the plane that we saw crash in episode 3. So that's one of those things where sometimes we did answer a question in planning Series 2, and then we'd look back at Season 1 and go, oh God, but what about that?
Yeah.
It doesn't work with that. And, some of them weren't a problem, but that was one of those instances where we thought, well, people might ask, but hang on, didn't they crash a plane?
Yeah.
So we had to get that thing in of, well, no, that was an unfortunate byproduct of something else they were trying to do. And there's a few moments like that where we thought, well, let's address that because it's going to be on people's minds.
We filmed my part of episode 3 before everybody else did because I was going away. But that was kind of, that was emotional for me in a way because I really enjoy it and it's really fun, but everybody else was carrying on after I'd left. So I came in and kind of did all of my bit, and we had a really long day, but I knew that everybody else would be continuing. And that was also really fun for me to keep up with whilst I was away, seeing like updates on Facebook and stuff that, we did this bit today, and it was back in the same location, so it's kind of like, they're going back to do the rest of it that like I wasn't needed for.
It was just so tense because of time, because the location where we were filming, the owners were coming back I think for like 4 PM, and we had to bang the scene out in like 2 or 3 hours because we didn't want to disturb them and take over their kitchen. So it was just a lot to do.
It's one of those things where you go, well, that's just a bunch of people stood around talking. That's easy to film because you've done big battle scenes. It's like, no, actually, it's really difficult because, like you said, you've got to keep it lively, and you've got all that coverage thing.
And I think it's even harder when actors corpse and laugh halfway through the scene.
We have to talk about the giggle part of episode 3. Now, it not being my fault whatsoever, I blame Cy Pearce, who at the time was an actor, that was his role, and he giggled an awful lot.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. That's fucking stupid. Sorry. One of my biggest challenges for shooting Series 2 was acting with Dan Winter, who is brilliant and a very nice man as well, but he has this annoying ability to just switch from being very kind of funny and a bit mischievous between takes to very serious when he needs to be. Obviously, there's some stuff on camera where he's quite funny, and I can't do that, as Chris will attest from having acted.
What is the challenge
before.
from your life, let alone
it is a challenge.
Acting. He used to get me in trouble in school. Just laughing.
What I can't do is if someone says something funny, normally you kind of laugh and that's it. It will weigh on me for 20 minutes and I'll still be laughing when it's inappropriate not to. And I know I got bored a bit stressed out in that kitchen scene. And sometimes just people being tense and serious is funny.
I had a line whereby you're meant to be urgent and dramatic and really wanting to ground everyone in the truth. And it was, how long have we got? And I had to say something like hours, not days. So I'm thinking, well, let's get that energy going. But the director, Paul Dudbridge, said, no. Let's just put a little moment of hours, not days. So there was this boom moment in between.
I immediately laughed. I'm like, shit, that's funny now. And and he's looking me in the face when he's saying it. So on both angles, mine and his, every time he's looking at me, hours, not days.
That was the unsticking point of both Cy Pearce and myself not being able to look at each other and us having to deliver lines, like looking around anywhere but each other. Hours, not days. No, you've lost the drama, Dan. Yeah, that's because I'm trying not to giggle at Cy Pearce.
Slate 59, take 1.
How long do we have?
Hours, not days.
Can you give me that hours? Not days.
No, come on.
Okay. If we can get to it, we can stop them. It's you. I blame you. If we can get to it, we can stop them.
How long do we have? Sorry.
If we can... Oh, shit. If we can get to it... Come on. I know.
How long do we have?
Hours, not days.
I'm so sorry, Dan. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, man. It's okay. Well, Paul's the one who's going to kill you. Okay. If we can get to it...
No, sorry, I wasn't there. Right, sorry, mate.
Still rolling.
If we can get to it, we can stop them.
How long do we have?
I'm so sorry. No, come on. I would like to say it was a lot of fun, but I think I upset... No, that's a lie. I think Cy upset the director quite a lot that day. Oh, God. I'm getting the giggles from it again.